Hi everybody, welcome to Growing with My Lady. I'm Praise and this is actually my first video on here. In this video I'll be telling you guys the journey of getting into med school, what went right, what went wrong, what went south, because a lot went south. A lot went wrong, guys. It was so traumatic, I'm not even gonna lie.
I'm coming down.
Especially the whole before actually getting into med school, but the whole journey, all the processes you get. So we're gonna cover all that in this video. Let's go. To know me tag. I'm Praise Chingwe. I'm a second year medical student at the University of Namibia. I'm 19. I'm 19 years old. I'm not Namibian. I'm not Namibian. Many people are shocked by that. I'm Zimbabwean by birth and by my parents. Both my parents are Zimbabwean. I'm Zimbabwean. I just grew up in Namibia for like most. Okay, let me start this story off by explaining something. I think it will make sense with the whole dynamics. So basically, for med school admissions, they take the best. Okay, for our region they took 6 of us, the best 6 per region. You get what I mean? So in our region there was a very strong school, right? So over the years all the medical students would be taken from this particular school, you get. So that was school A and I was from school B, you get. Trust me, our school had very intelligent people, all these things, but they just never got into medicine, you get. So that had to do a lot with how I thought my chances of getting into med school were. I was like, if who couldn't get in, then what are my chances of getting in, you get. But yeah, anyways, this story starts off in grade 11. I was in boarding school. I had moved to this school in grade 10. So when grade 11 came, I passed my national exams very well. I had all A stars and then A. I was actually a national candidate. I think that's my biggest accomplishment in life so far, you get. I had passed really well. So that was lit, that was cool. But even though I had passed so well, I never really had the certainty that I was going to get into medicine, right? Because then AS came, grade 12 came, and there was that point where you had to choose your subjects, right? And I don't know if this was like my school or just the thing that was around, but there was that pressure to do 5 subjects. That thing which are like, no, you guys are the smart kids, so you guys can handle 5 subjects. And now I had done 4 sciences and geography, so I was like, okay, I'm gonna take my maths, my chemistry, my biology and my physics. But I wasn't so sure about taking English, because I'm like, English for what, guys? I don't like English. Let me say it now, I don't like English like that. Like, I would pass of course, but like writing reports and what do people do in English? I know it says
that one is the truth. I cannot manage. I'm not here for doing that one. I can't.
Like when the year started, I was doing English, right? So I was there with my 5 subjects. The teacher would come teach and I'd be like, this thing. And then I told my parents about it. I was like, guys, I want to drop English. And my mom and dad were like, chill, you don't need it anyways, so you can drop it. And then I went to my life skills teacher. My life skills teacher was like, please, you already know how competitive it is to get into medicine, so why do you wanna reduce your chances by dropping English when you could do it and still pass? And I was like, at that point I'm like, sure, okay,
I'm scared, but I'll try the liver.
I might as well just do this thing, even though I really did not want to do English, guys. My heart like even the passion, I did not want to do English at all. So then cool, I did English for a while. Then later on I saw I don't think this is worth it, guys. I'm leaving this thing. And then I went to my biology teacher, and my biology teacher was like, you don't need it like that, just leave it and focus on your 4 subjects. And I was like, say less. I dropped English. And when I dropped English, there was that little thing, Kocha, why are you dropping English? You can pass it if you really want to. But I was like, nah, I'm dropping this thing, guys. Even life skills, I didn't do life skills because our life skills teacher gave us the option to drop it, and I was like, I just need to focus on my 4 subjects, guys. All these other things, I don't need them. where I got the courage to do that, I don't know. But then chill, first term results came out. I had passed. I had all A's and a B in, I think it was physics, of which it was a B of 79, right? So I'm still, I'm still this grade 12. Mind you, this AS, I have my 3 A's and a B. Cool. And then time goes on. It's time for mock exams. Yo, guys.
Oh my goodness, I feel like I'm freaking out.
School never killed me like that in my entire life. The symbols I saw for my mock exams, I've never seen in my entire life. Imagine. Like, the symbols that I tasted in mock, I had never tasted in my life. Imagine how savage that was. But chill. So mock came. I had 3 C's and 1 A. Imagine. And these results already don't qualify me to do medicine. I don't qualify for medicine, because for medicine you need 2 B's and 2 C's. I don't know if that has changed, but in my time, back in my day, it was 2 B's and 2 C's, right? So when I failed, it was a case. Yeah, guys, it was a case. My parents, if you're a top performer or a top achiever, you always assume that your parents don't care about your performance until you fail. Guys, trust me, I never saw my parents that concerned in my entire life. Cool. My parents, they did not find it funny, guys. My teacher, my maths teacher, guys, that was the most traumatic day in my entire life.
What a moment in history. I'll never forget that.
It's night, we're in boarding school, right? It's nighttime. My teacher calls for me at the hostel. She's like, "Go, please." And then she sent me in her office. She's like, "These marks are concerning." Because you check, she used to use my paper as a memo comma. She's guys, it was sad. It was sad to a point where even the principal called me and he's like, "Praise, what's going on? Your performance is alarming. It's very concerning." But yeah, guys, there was a lot of concern. And at that point, my parents were like, "Okay, no, you need extra lessons." So they paid for me to get extra lessons. Cool. I had failed my mock exams. Those results were not gonna get me into med school. I was very devastated. And like when you're going through a lot, there's so much noise. Everyone is like, "Definitely, please, you're not getting into medicine. I mean, you're already not doing English. You failed your mock, and you're also not a Namibian student." And apparently, guys, the rumors were a lot. Apparently, these are all rumors that were like circulating amongst people. Coach, I know she's not a Namibian student, and they consider Namibian students first, so you're likely not to get a place. And I'm feeding off of this, right? Like, I'm like, okay, like I had accepted it to maybe not be my destiny. But yeah, so then I put in the work. That's all I'm gonna say. I think this deserves a video of its own, of how I was able to recover from mock to my nationals. So in the midst of all of this, application time came. For applications, I was in boarding school, so I couldn't apply. Others were applying, but I chose not to apply. I chose to leave the application thing to my parents. So my parents were doing the whole application thing. They just asked me for my documents from school. Like, my parents were like, "Go get your documents certified and then send them to us." So I did that. So in the whole application process, I was not there. They just asked, "What do you want to study? Where do you want to study? What's your second choice?" And they did it. Cool. So then national exams came. We wrote the exams. I've never fought for my life like I fought in AS Nationals, guys. I fought for life.
When you're fighting a battle, don't look at on the other side.
Grade 11, I had written my nationals with a mindset of, I want to be one of the best. I want to be a national candidate. To moving to AS, where I'm like, I just need A's, but I just need 4 A's to get. Maybe I might not get into medicine, but to have a fighting chance, to have that, that pool of options. It was crazy. But chill, we wrote the exams and then I left and I came back home. So it was December holiday. The holiday went by, January came. At this point, we are waiting for our feedback from UNAM. We're waiting for feedback from UNAM. I think it was before. So people are receiving these letters, and I never received anything. Like, I never received anything, to a point where it got very concerning. Like, I remember what happened. It got very concerning to the point where my parents were like, it was concerning because everyone else had received their information, but I didn't receive any information about my standing, most you get. So my parents are concerned because they're the ones that had applied, and they're like, did you maybe do something wrong, or all these things. So then at that point, I have an uncle that worked at UNAM that year. He was working at UNAM main campus. So then my mom called my uncle, and she's like, hi uncle, please I don't know, please just check, here's the student number, please just, because my uncle also obviously knew colleagues that were like in the medicine field and whatnot, you know, administration for medicine. So then my mom gives my student number, and she's like, uncle, please find out about this application, like just find out if maybe the response is still coming, or maybe something went wrong with the application, you know, just that for us to know where we stand. Then my uncle follows through. He calls his people, and the people are like, no, this student number is non-existent. Basically, this student number, the application form was never completed. Like, she's not even in the system like that, you get. Guys, it was I think my parents are in distress now, guys. My parents are in distress because my parents knew that I always wanted to study medicine. It was like a universal truth. It was something that was there, right? So my parents were stressed. I remember my mom tried to go to the offices, and you know, most during like admission season, those guys are so rude. Yo guys, UNAM, they are so mean. So then my mom went there, and but basically they were not really kind to her and all that. So she would come back home and she'd be so sad, and I'd be like, okay, sure, chill. Okay, at that point I'm like, okay, cool, UNAM is out of the picture because my application never went in the first place. So in the midst of all of that, I get a letter from the University of Joburg, and they're like, we have a place for you for actuarial science and chartered accounting. And I was like, okay, chill. I think that was a mini breakthrough where we were like, okay, chill, if UNAM is out of the picture, then we have this really good option still standing, right? And then at that point, I'm organizing my things. My parents are like, okay, chill. My parents are like, chill, let's organize everything. Yo guys, I'm just gonna say this now, studying abroad is not cheap. It's not cheap. So at that point, my parents are trying to organize the funds, because you have to pay a certain amount of your tuition, certain amount of your accommodation, all these things, flight tickets, all these things. So then chill. I'm still really sad about the whole UNAM thing, because God knows I wanted to do medicine from the get-go. Chill. And then results come out.
My God doesn't wear flip-flop, so he cannot flop.
Results come out. I knew what I wrote, man. Yeah. And then I remember it was in the morning. It was in the morning, and the New Era released the results by mistake. Now I'm waking up, and my mom is there with her phone, and she's like, what's your student number? That time results are out. Me, I'm confused. I'm like, what are you talking about, bruh? And I told her my student number, and she's like, oh, okay, you did very well. You have all 4 A's. I was so happy.
We are extremely happy. I don't know whether you can define the word extremely.
Because for me, that's when I'm like, yo, okay, at least now things can fall into place. Things, I know where I stand, and I know what I can get. You get, chill. So then few days later, boom, we get an email from UNAM, and it's a letter of conditional acceptance.
My God never flop.
Yo guys, I was so happy because I was going to do actuarial science only because it's the next best thing. So I got the letter of conditional acceptance from UNAM. Apparently what happened was my dad made an error on the application, but it was still accepted, just that the system automatically generated a new student number. So the student number we had was not the student number in the system, if you get what I mean. So the letter was like, okay, you are shortlisted, you have conditional acceptance. You underlined that they considered my first term exams and not my mock exams where I had failed. They're like, okay, you have to maintain or improve your 3 A's and 1 B, and I have 4 A's, so basically I improved. So, but mind you, there's still this thing of an interview. We were the first group to have this interview, so it was raising eyebrows because it's giving vibes of, let me say you guys meet the requirements, but it's not guaranteed that you guys are getting in. Because I mean, what do you mean there's an interview? Chill. Now, okay, attention moves from the whole UJ thing to this UNAM application now that my life depends on, guys. My parents, my dad was so anxious. I've never seen my dad anxious like that, to a point where he printed out papers of possible interview questions that he could ask. It was that serious, because yeah man, what do you mean, guys? I'll be going to school and I just want to finish the story. So basically the interview season came, and at the interview I met so many of my current friends. They were from my region, but we never knew each other like that. We just knew each other because we were all top performers and we would meet at like award ceremonies and all these things. So then yeah, after the interview, immediately after the interview, you would go to the faculty officer and she would check your results, like if your results were in line with, if you had managed to maintain or improve, or if you dropped, you would immediately get sent back to appeal. So yeah, I got in, and that was how I got into med school basically. There were a lot of challenges with my registration, considering that I'm an international student, but eventually it all worked out. And yeah man, I think I'll do a separate video on the interview because that was a thing on its own. But yeah man, it was such a, I think the high school part, especially when I failed my mock exams, I saw depression. I saw depression face to face.
So we don't have the capacity.
But yeah man, so I hope this video encourages you guys that want to study medicine.
Push, step back, step forward, go straight, focused, be positive. You can do it, guys.
I was the first, in fact I was the only one from my school that had managed to get conditional acceptance. The other colleague of mine got in through appeal. So yeah man, I think it all worked out just perfectly. And yeah man, that was my journey of getting into med school. Basically I never thought that I would get in, but I did get in. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed this video. Please like, comment and subscribe.
And pay